Number 8.6, another public hearing. Consider adopting ordinance number 21.73, approving a request of Realty Capital Management to rezone a 47.269 acre tract of the Marcus Smith Survey, abstract number 504, from Interim Holding IH Light Commercial LC and heavy commercial HC zoning districts to a planned development PD zoning district. The property is located on East Highway 377 to the south and west of Overstreet Boulevard. Mr. Kaufman, yep.
Yes, you're well aware of this project. It's been working for quite some time. We'll turn it over to Kara to give us a report from the Planning and Zoning Commission.
So on this slide, you can see the site outlined in teal and labeled with subject property. To the west of the site is the lake, and to the north is Highway 377. To the east is existing retail shops, and farther east and south is unimproved property. And the zoning is interim holding light commercial and heavy commercial since 2001. The site is not platted, and the proposed use is a mixed-use development. Public notice was published on October 30th with a notice of the public hearing in the Hood County News. We mailed our notice to the 6 property owners within 200 feet of the property, and we've received nothing either in favor or in opposition of the proposal. The project is a mixed-use development proposal with several areas zoned in a mixed-use fashion similar to a horizontal downtown environment. The intent is for the project to be a walkable community with multiple buildings with relationships built through open space, a hierarchy of streets, and various uses distributed throughout the site, including retail towards the Highway 377, a hotel located on the lake frontage near to Highway 377, 4 separate restaurants, multifamily use, and residential use, including townhouses, assisted living, and detached single-family smaller lots. A trail system as well as a public park would be proposed throughout the community. The public streets would be lined with not only trails but also wide sidewalks for pedestrians, and include benches and other street furnishings along with special lighting features. The plan development document is accompanied by a section that speaks to the quality of the design of the buildings, and then we'll go to the next slide. In summary, there is a development standards document that would provide the standards and the uses for this property in this zone. On October 30th, a notice of public hearing was published in the Hood County News, and on November 4th, the notices were mailed to 6 property owners. There was no response to that, either in favor or in opposition of the project. Planning and Zoning Commission recommendation was conditional approval with this request with a unanimous vote of 5-0, pending additions and corrections of the text in the PD design standards that is the use and development standard books that I mentioned. The correction and additions have been made by the applicant. This slide shows the voting options for the council. Approve the development plan as presented by the applicant and approve the ordinance establishing the plan development rezoning request as presented. B, approve the development plan with reasonable design modifications and approve the ordinance establishing the plan development district with aforementioned design modifications which have been submitted after the Plan Commission. C, table the request for additional information or request for modifications. And D, deny the development plan and ordinance establishing the plan development district rezoning. The applicant is also here to make a presentation.
So we have Tim Coltort that's available. Would you like to do your presentation at this point? that gives a great overview of what it will look like. He's got some good visuals and can answer questions. Maybe one of those will work for you, Tim.
Thank you very much, Chris.
From what he shows you.
My name's Tim Coltart. I'm with Realty Capital, 909 Lake Carolyn Parkway in Irving. I'm beyond excited to be here tonight. This has been a long time in the works, working on it for over 2 years now. I'd really like to say thank you to the owners of the property who have been patient enough to let us go through this process and do it right. Brady and Lee Overstreet are here. Staff who did a great agenda report, and I know we had some technical issues, but Kira, Chad, Joanne, Chris, of course, and Michael have been very instrumental in moving this project forward and helping get it to where it is. Of course, we have had a couple of executive sessions also with many of you on council, and I think the comments that we got really led us to a fabulous plan that we're really excited about bringing forward. We have a first-class team on this project and consultants, including Dan and Austin. Austin's in my office, and Dan, who's worked on Disney projects and everything else, and he's as excited about this as I am. I know we've got a full house tonight. I'll try to keep this pretty quick, but what I'm most excited about is we have a pretty unique property here. We have a vision for it. What this project is about is providing a catalyst to the surrounding area as well, which some of that retail's struggled. We have a really pretty lakefront property and a plan to make that lakefront into a public realm that has pedestrian access throughout, and it's really something special. So I'll walk you through a presentation here. Hopefully this will work. Okay. So who is Realty Capital? I think that's probably first question. I know 2 of the council members have not seen this. The rest have seen this before. I'll try to run through it quickly. This is a Lakeside Project, very similar site in Flower Mound, located directly north of DFW Airport. And we have a project there, $1 billion project, a bunch of really nice restaurants in a place where they said restaurants would never succeed. It includes also some residential towers and the likes. You'll see here, this is Main Street Lofts in Mansfield, which, similar to this project, was the first large project to contribute to their downtown tourist district. And Mansfield actually nominated this as for the Game Changer Award when the project was complete. We're just completing the second phase right now. Adjacent to that is Watson Branch, another 77-acre master plan community in Mansfield, which was approved last year, is under construction right now. This is Harvest, a joint venture with Ross Perot's group, Hillwood, another $1 billion project, 4,000 homes, fastest selling community in all of the Metroplex for a number of years running, and really is just a community that is very unique to itself. Includes a lot of farming elements, options for children to learn about vegetables and some of the old school things, and how to grow them. You'll see here, this is a project that we are under construction on right now in Keller on 377. I guess if you kept driving north on 377, you'd wind up here. A mixed-use project, first residential high-density project approved in Keller in well over 10 years, and we had full support of the folks around us for this and are under construction right now. So I can say all the nice things about our projects, but this is an article from D Magazine, which came out, and mixed use is a very challenging type of development to complete. Very difficult to finance, and we have learned any number of lessons in working in this realm. They named 10 projects that got it right and 10 projects that didn't, and we had 2 projects on the ones that got it right, and fortunately none on the ones that didn't. reputation's important, and there's no barriers to entry to become a developer. I think experience really shows an example of who you're working with and what their intentions are. And so I've got some examples here. You'll see on the top left is a rendering that we showed to City Council in Flower Mound in 2010. On the right-hand side, you'll see is an actual picture of the building that was built. Down below that, you'll see the Village of Colleyville, the rendering on the left, back when we used to do them by hand, and a picture of what was built to the right. You'll see the same here, Village of Colleyville on the left, another hand-painted sketch done back probably in the late 90s. You'll see what was actually built. Below that, again, venue at Hometown. I actually think we exceeded the rendering in what was built, and that project is probably 15 years old and still looks fabulous, and actually contains a cafe called Roots Coffee, who actually put the Starbucks just down the road out of business. They moved, and because this was supported so well by the residents. Let's talk a little bit about this project. Lakeview Landing. It's plus or minus 48 acres. We have a right turn access in and out from, well, at least we plan to have a right in and out from 377. We're certainly too close to the bridge to have another intersection there. I believe it's the best remaining waterfront site in Granbury. Certainly is the most visible and will have a significant impact on the drive into Granbury as you head north on 377. The city is looking right now to extend Overstreet to connect to Water's Edge, I believe to include a roundabout, and will be a fabulous addition that will provide a lot more access in this area of town. Kira talked a little bit about the comprehensive plan, and this project is very consistent with that. I highlighted a couple of items here, but being that staff was unable to bring up their presentation, I thought they did a fabulous job as they talked about some of the goals from that plan. Diversify land use to expand the city's tax base. Advance opportunities to live and work in Granbury. Active and passive recreation uses for all citizens. Parks, open spaces and trails. Thoroughfares, collectors and local roads. Preserve and promote Granbury's natural amenities. And quality design, range of quality housing sizes, prices and densities to offer a full life cycle community. And those are just some of the items I think that staff had outlined that we meet. These are some inspiration images really showing the thought of what we have put together, much of this with your input. You'll see the top left picture is Lakeside, top right picture is Lakeside. The others are just really some sample images to show the kind of environment we're looking to build down closer to the lake and adjacent to the park. You'll see here some examples of the residential. All of these pictures are from Lakeside, some of the senior living and some of the market rate product. One of the biggest questions we have had throughout this process has been timeline. This is a very complicated site. I'll get to that in just a minute, but we've been working on this since early 2019. We've put together our flood study. If you move through this to where we are right now, the next plan will be to put together our development agreement, so there will be another opportunity to address materials and the likes. We will then work on project infrastructure, and assuming that FEMA approves our CLOMA, which has been submitted to them in November, we would then look to start our initial dirt work in third quarter of next year. Dirt work will take at least 3 months as we put streets and utilities in. That's around a year, and we'll begin vertical improvements in 2023, the end of 2023. As soon as we've got nobody wants to open a restaurant or anything when you're a construction war zone. and so that would begin immediately thereafter. But we've been working with the city manager and y'all's consultants to create a plan to get all of this on the ground at the same time, because I believe every single piece of this project benefits from the other piece. And if I'm in your shoes, the biggest question you have is how do we have assurance that this vision comes together? And your staff has done a great job of reviewing our documents, running through the plan development code, and as we continue to move forward, we will continue to do so with the same effort we have done to date. Project completion 2026. So a little bit of an overview. We have waterfront dining. You'll see on the left of the image, a public park open to everybody. You do not have to be a resident or a tenant or live in this community. This is a public park for all people. And we always look to do that. We think that when you have restaurants and other uses that are on the lakefront, we've done the same thing in our lakeside development. You'll see we have imported timber from Oregon to build special decks and the likes, and really what it does is it creates a place that people want to be. And probably not all that different from the park that's beautifully lit right next door. We have, at the direction of council, we worked on our plan and came up with a really cool concept for lakefront lots, and the concept of that island that you see, which we're really excited about. We have a public boardwalk that would run across the lake. We do contemplate allowing golf carts and the likes to be able to use this, get down to the park area. And really our demographic we're looking for is a renter by choice. People that want to live close to the lake and share in the beauty that is the lake. Everybody's fascinated with the water, and that's one of the best things that we have going for us. We see this project is becoming a gathering place for residents, and our overall density is about 13 units per acre. You'll see here, I'll skip through some of these. You've probably hit age-restricted units. We have some of those in Zone D of the project on the right-hand side as you look at the screen. We do have one error in our PD zoning document that I'd just like to clarify. I think we show 3 stories max on the active adult, and would like for that to be 4 stories. That's what's depicted within the plan, and I assume, I don't think staff will have an issue with that, but I don't want to speak on their behalf. We just discovered that tonight. We have market rate units, and frankly, we are as vested as anybody in ensuring that we have strict credit requirements to make sure that people that are moving here can afford to be here. We have enhanced material standards required within our plan development document, and we will have architectural control on everything that gets built within this project. Some of the challenges, I'll be brief running through these. Access, we don't really have an intersection, a lighted intersection, so we'll be reliant on vehicles using Overstreet and coming through the parking lot, or using the right in, right out that we plan to apply to 377 for. We have a significant amount of dirt that we need to bring in to reclaim this property. Approximately half of it is in the floodplain. That does bring some challenges also with foundations, which make the buildings more expansive, but we are on top of that. We have great consultants. We had some challenges with that we've had to work through over the last couple of years. As we get the property draining correctly, we have to go through the CLOMA process with the federal government, which anything you do with the federal government, except for paying taxes, seems to be a challenge. And obviously one of the things we've discussed at length is market fluctuations. That's why I'm really excited that this project is one that we can put all the infrastructure in on the front end and make sure we know what we're getting. What is the opportunity here? I think really developing a community asset that activates one of the best parts of the lake. creating a gateway, creating a catalyst. The shops at Granbury has struggled. I think they're one of the biggest beneficiaries of our project. We have placed a community park in between us and them and tried to front some of those buildings to face back out to that large parking lot. That's purely with the goal of trying to encourage that site to develop further. Construction of Overstreet will make a big difference. This project will be the biggest contributor, I believe, to the TERS fund that the city is also talking about. And the residential development provides the urban portion that really activates the retail and brings people here. The restaurants and the parks will create a great amenity for the residents, and the walkability factor will mean that it extends well beyond our project also. That's the end of our presentation. We're more than happy to answer any questions that you may have, and look forward to moving this project further with your consent.
Do you have other people that were presenting?
Yeah, we appreciate you. If you take a seat, we'll open the public hearing and see how that goes, and then we may call you back up for questions with the council afterwards.
Very good. Okay, this is a public hearing, so I will now open the public hearing. I've had no one ask to speak at the public hearing. No? That's going to be unfair to everyone else if I allow that, and I think we're going to have from now to 2026 to speak, so I'm going to close the public hearing at this point in time. Is there other questions? Council, do you have questions? Do you have questions for the staff?
Let me
yes,
speak a
Chris.
minute. I might just add some more information. So this project is, like he said, in a floodplain area. If you've driven by it, it's extremely low to the ground. Takes as $1 million+ worth of dirt to fill the site. It's going to be a tough development challenge for anyone that would want to develop this property. I don't know how long it's been for sale, but I know that when they built Home Depot, they brought in a whole lot of dirt and built that site up as well, and it's just been developing since then. The islands and the single-family homes, I understand, are for sale, not for rent, and then the multifamily would be rental units owned by one company. They're not being sold out as townhomes or condos. And then the hotel site would be a branded luxury hotel, as we've discussed in the past. The boat dock area that's depicted in this picture, it's an intent. We're not sure that BRA will sign off on that design because of when the floodwaters come, the debris that comes with it. So there may be some alterations with that, but having a visual picture helps understand what they're presenting, and the park space is going to be critical for the area. I asked the developer how many people would be occupying, living in this total development, and it would be about 1,000 people. The traffic impact analysis that will be done prior to the final plat, and that will give us more information on things that you would need to decide at that point. Also, the storm drainage and those kind of things are still working through the process with the federal government and that Clomer application, and that would all be addressed prior to the approval of a final plat. Basically what this does is allows the developer to move forward understanding that what he's presented matches the comprehensive plan land use that's presented, that was developed in 2016 for this property, and allows them to begin moving forward to implement some improvements and confidence to even move forward with the purchase and make the investment to get this going. So if we have any questions, Tim, and I think Mr. Gray's here, Austin Gray's here as well, be happy to answer your questions. Or I would if I have the answer.
Council? Mr. Rodriguez?
Mayor, it is a public hearing. Are we not allowing the time for the citizens to sign up and speak on this?
We allowed the time. We've had no one sign up.
All right, thank you.
No.
That's a big deal. I mean, these are city presentations.
that not in the deck?
This is only about zoning. It's not about the preliminary plat or anything like that. This is about zoning issues. So you should have signed up. Sorry, I don't know what else. The rules of procedure are pretty clear.
The paper, put the picture with what you want to do with the notification. How's that?
I might just add that this went to the Planning and Zoning Commission at the last meeting as well. So there was an opportunity to see it there, and it was advertised in the paper as well. So.
And put the picture in the paper.
Yeah, was this presentation available online prior to this meeting?
No, it's not our presentation. It's theirs.
It was not available to the citizens.
It is now.
It was not before the meeting.
But you're not allowing us to speak about it.
Apparently you are speaking about it. Nobody signed up. Why didn't y'all sign up while he was making his presentation?
Yeah,
Why wasn't this online prior to the meeting?
yeah.
It's not our presentation to make.
Yeah, it's
Can,
Let's get
as city excuse me, ma'am, excuse me. As, you know, as I said earlier, if I do this for you, I'm doing it I'm being very unfair to everyone else, and I think it's not fair. And I do hear, and I think we all hear, what you're saying about, being in the paper, being in the agenda, et cetera, et cetera. But this is simply for the zoning, so the individuals understand that this is or is not zoned such that it could accommodate a project such as this. So I will close the public meeting at this time, and we'll have discussion with council. Any questions? Do I hear a motion to consider adopting ordinance?
Mayor, I make a motion that we approved as presented.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Vale. All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, raise your hand. The ordinance is approved as submitted. Thank you.